All right, for our very last guest in the live stream lounge today, we're going to bring in one of the first craft brewers that really launched the industry in Colorado. We have here Jeff Brown from Boulder Beer, and it's great to have you, sir.
Jeff, very nice to be here. Thanks for inviting me. Yeah, this is a terrific setting, beautiful here in San Diego.
I don't know if you guys can smell what we're smelling, but it's kind of creepy. But it's lovely here.
It is, yeah.
You get
it's really great.
The seashells every once in a while.
Yeah.
So hang in there. So, listen, I'm really glad we can finish off with you, just because you were there. Well, tell us the story of Boulder Beer.
Well, it's good to be last on the show, since we were kind of first in the craft scene.
It means you're still on the scene.
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
good.
So we're celebrating our 37th year in business. So 1979, there were we got the 43rd brewing license in the U.S. at that point in time, and I think probably this month there'll probably be that many breweries opening.
Yeah.
So it's been good. We've had a lot of fun being in the business. It has, as I've seen the business continue to, since '79, continue to evolve. There's more and more players coming into the brewing scene. So we're proud to be kind of the legacy that we have. And so hopefully we'll have another 37 or so years yet to come.
That'd be dynamite. How did you guys weather the bust in the mid-'90s?
It was for us, kind of that one of those sobering moments where you see that, the talk was, is this a fad? Is this, is this going to bust out? And, and we were passionate about it. We knew that it wasn't a fad. We saw the consumers, and we saw the people that were drinking our beers. We knew they weren't going to go anywhere. So we just we hunkered down. We didn't have to do much of a retrench. But we certainly took a look at the markets that were most favorable for us and continued to invest in those. And we knew that it was going to tick back up again.
Yeah.
There was just more supply coming on than there was demand, and we saw it. But one of the good things I like to say about craft beer is there has never been a down year since. I'll go back to 1965 when Anchor Steam came on board. There's never been a negative year for craft.
Yeah, but there was a negative year for a lot of craft brewers.
Yes.
And what do you think drove that? And do you think there are any lessons from that the folks here can consider as they look to this time?
Well, I think that we're starting to see similar challenges today as that we saw back in the 90s, that there are potentially brewers are spreading their wings a little quicker than they should. And so what I would recommend to all brewers is really get as deep as you possibly can get in your home market, close to home market, maybe 2 or 3 states outside of that, before you start to chase the geographic expansion, because you're going to end up investing a significant amount of money in a very short period of time.
I know that product quality back in the 90s was one of the things that people were really concerned about and considered to be a driver. Do you think we're past that now in terms of consistency and overall flavor profile?
I would say that we are very innovative in the styles, and that's great. But I think that there are some brewers out there that really need to take a look at their QC and stay with that, and really stay on top of freshness dating. We've had freshness dating since day one. We switched to a much easier, consumer friendlier enjoy by date years ago, and I just think that brewers today, if quality and freshness is not top of mind, then you ought to get out of the business.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, is that something that you recommend more for? That's obviously a bigger issue if you're planning on spreading your wings earlier.
Right, right.
So, knowing how heavy the competition is now, how have you guys, man? What's been y'all's strategy for staying alive there?
Well, we've really taken a look at continuing to invest with our partners, pick the right distributors, work with them, communicate well with them, have solid business planning meetings, at least annually, if not every trimester. Because that way you can stay top of mind with the distributors, you can meet with the retailers, and really start to have significant conversations about why you're relevant to the consumers that are in their particular market.
You're in an incredibly saturated region for beer. How do you stay relevant there, aside from just the name?
Well, we continue to invest heavily in the local market, adding additional salespeople to the market, but also being innovative with styles.
Yeah.
Because I like to say we love all our children / beers equally. Not everybody.
Just some of those kids
Yeah.
don't have as long a
Right, they
lifespan.
don't, and it's painful to have to see some of them go away.
Yeah.
But it's inevitable. There's a product life cycle, and you have to realize it.
Speaking of product life cycles, there's a new product on the market in Colorado, and there's been a lot of talk about this and the effect on the beer industry, and that's marijuana.
Yep.
That's marijuana, Jeff.
It is.
And one thing that didn't come up, and when they were discussing it, is cutting out marijuana's effect. Yes, there's been some downturn in beer consumption overall.
Right.
What about your consumer, the craft beer consumer, as opposed to the mass consumer?
I haven't seen the any hard data on craft consumers. I know I have friends from around the country that come into Colorado because of the new product availability. And so that's bringing tourism into the state, and they stop into the brewery and they're drinking beer.
Because they had beer tourism too.
Right.
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 I wonder at what point that business is going to be mature enough that we'll be able to do that kind of numerical separation.
Right. Right.
And whether or not we'll all be too high to figure it out at that time.
Well,
anyway.
We'll figure it out. We just won't remember we figured it out.
Hey, I just want to thank you for joining us. Any advice you have for these new generations of brewers out here as we leave?
I'd say continue with the passion. Be true to yourself. Stay with it. If you're not in the beer business yet, I'd say take 6 months, sail around the world, and come back. And if you still want to do it, jump into it.
Well, you could be exceptionally thirsty by then.
Yes, you could.
Jeff, thanks very much.
Jeff, thank you. I really appreciate it.